Nick Palermo, the walking embodiment of a caged tiger in an Italian suit, paces back and forth like he's trying to wear a hole in Harlow's vintage carpet. He's livid. "You know what, Harlow? I told you not to serve that prick Ventresca last night," Nick growls, his voice a gravelly rumble that suggests he's not getting his recommended 8 hours of sleep. Harlow, the queen of cool with a demeanor that could chill cucumbers, leans back and pops a bubblegum bubble with a notable lack of concern. "Yeah, well, I also told you not to bleed all over my new bar stool when you got shot last month, Nikki. But here we are." Nick shoots her a withering glare, one meant to make weaker mortals quiver in their boots. "Oh, you think you're funny? You think you're George fucking Carlin?" "No, sweetheart, he's dead. I'm much prettier," Harlow replies, a sly smile playing on her lips. Nick's scowl deepens like a soup simmering over too high a heat. His finger jabbed towards her is adorned with a ring that probably cost as much as a small condo in Trenton. Don't test me, darling. I'm already on thin fucking ice with Goku." She raises an eyebrow, daring to poke the proverbial bear. "Ice. Nick, it's July in Brooklyn. The only thing on ice is the vodka I'm charging these Wall Street assholes $30 for." Nick shakes his head, her audacity both infuriating and oddly endearing. "You got a mouth on you. Better than you mumbling Neanderthal." "I'm Nick Palermo. I threaten people for a living." "Ooh," she mocks, her voice a hilariously exaggerated version of his. "You want to get cute? I'll call Goku." Harlow's expression doesn't change, her poker face impeccable. "Yeah, tell him I want my cut of last week's shipment, and that I found his nephew passed out in my coat room with 2 strippers." Nick's bravado flickers like a bad bulb. "Shit." She leans in, the soft sound of victory in her voice. "Thought so." Exhaling a sigh heavier than a Sopranos marathon, Nick rubs his tired temples and plops into Harlow's chair, a king dethroned. "Listen, Harlow, seriously, Ventresca's bad news. Don't be cute, don't be greedy." Harlow's eyes twinkle with mischief. "Nick, I'm always cute, and I'm always greedy. It's literally why you work for me." "I don't work for you," Nick retorts automatically, a hint of uncertainty creeping into his voice. Harlow leans over, topping off her charm offensive with a playful tap on his cheek. "Sure you don't, sugar. Now be a dear. Tell Mikey at the door, no more pistols in the coat check. He gave one back to the wrong guy last night." Nick marries motion to complaints, standing up with a frustrated mumble. "Jesus fucking Christ, I hate this place." "Love you too, Nicky," Harlow calls after him, watching as he storms out, door slamming with a bang that reverberates through the small bar. A smirk sneaks onto Harlow's face as she lights up a cigarette, inhaling deeply. "These boys," she murmurs to herself, "always think they're in charge." Mondays at 2 p.m. in this corner of neon noir, Brooklyn never failed to entertain.
It was a humid Thursday in Iowa. The kind of day your balls sweat so much they threaten to file for emancipation. Elvadid, the podcast host with the calm voice but the eyes of a man who's seen some shit, had scheduled a live episode guaranteed to be the biggest shit show on YouTube since Tony Pizza tried to spell Omerta. He'd invited 2 combustible personalities, Ryan Clifton, the MMA dad, loud as a Harley with no muffler, part motivational speaker, part threat assessment instructor. He's got the heart of a lion and the mouth of a teamster on strike. Bambi Palermo, the truth-telling Long Island, Siciliana, queen of the Pizzaverse, dedicated to exposing the fakest wise guys on the internet. She's got mob ties so tangled you'd need a RICO chart to read them, and the sharp tongue of a grandma who doesn't like your wife. To set up Elevated Studio is a humble affair. A couple of mics, a neon sign that flickers on air, and a table sticky with old Dunkin' coffee rings. Elevated, wearing his trademark Zen hoodie, says, "Okay guys, keep it respectful, no death threats on air. Ryan, Bambi, ready?" Bambi's already rolling her eyes so hard they need an alignment. Ryan's cracking his knuckles like he's warming up for a cage fight. The introductions. Tonight, we got Ryan Clifton. Ryan, tell the people who you are. Elevated announced. I'm Ryan Clifton, baby. I'll motivate you, educate you, and if you disrespect me, I'll choke you out like a car payment. No bullshit. Bambi leans into the mic. Jesus, Ryan, save it for the OnlyFans. Relax, nobody here wants a motivational beatdown. Bambi Palermo, huh? The YouTube mob princess herself. You here to whack me on air? Ryan joked. Listen, tough guy, I only whack people with subpoenas these days. Bambi clapped back. The debate elevated, realizing he's lost control immediately, tries to steer the ship. So let's talk truth. Ryan, you've been accused of being too aggressive. Bambi, you've been accused of doxing people. How do you respond? I'm aggressive because people are stupid, Elvadid. It's not my fault God made them soft. If you can't handle words, you won't survive a punch. Ryan boasted. Wow, real deep. You read that on a Snapple cap? Look, I don't dox people. I just tell the truth. And if that truth happens to have a zip code attached, that's their problem. Bambi responded. See, this is why you're nuts, Bambi. You think you're Batman on YouTube. Ryan grinned. Yeah, well, you're Joe Rogan if he ate steroids with a spoon. Don't start with me, Bambi stated. The roast session. Elevated sips his coffee, savoring the chaos like a man watching a house burn from across the street. Ryan, your motivational speeches are like dollar store fortune cookies. Be tough, don't be soft. Wow, Socrates, is that you? Bambi asked. Oh yeah, your channel's like The View but with more felonies. What are you gonna do, subpoena me on air? Ryan said. Don't tempt me, I got blank forms right here. Guys, please, my advertisers are texting me crying emojis, Elevated said, trying to gain control. The uneasy truce. After a solid hour of mutual insults, Ryan suddenly gets philosophical. Ryan, you know what though, Bambi? I respect you. You got balls. Most people online are too scared to call people out. Bambi smirks. Ryan, I'm Sicilian. We're born with two middle fingers. I appreciate that you're not a punk. Just work on your inside voice. Ryan, I don't got an inside voice. I got one setting, full Jersey uncle. Elevated, look at that, progress. The finale, they end the podcast with an almost friendly fist bump. Elevated leans into close. Thank you both. This was a lot. Tune in next week when I interview a feral raccoon. Slightly less hostile than this. Ryan smiled, Elevated, you're a saint for hosting us. Bambi nodded, yeah, bless your heart. Next time, bring Valium for the viewers. Good night, YouTube. Pray for me. The chat explodes. Best podcast ever. Ryan and Bambi need their own show. I think Elvad had aged 20 years during this. Mobsters versus MMA dads. Pay-per-view when? Moral of the story? If you invite Ryan Clifton and Bambi Palermo to your podcast, make sure your liability insurance is paid up. And always, always have Elevated on standby to play referee. For more Pizzaverse tales, subscribe and hit the frigging like button.